Met her at the real estate investment club that I am a part of.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's the secretary, right?
Yeah, basically the admin help out.
The one who does all the work. Got it. Got it.
It's fun work. It's different, but I had a lot of work when we had to cancel the meeting. I'll tell you that. That was a lot that night.
Oh yeah, it snowed for like a half a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we still could have had the meeting that night, but whatever.
Yeah, it was dicey for people, So I think people could have come. I felt bad that we had to cancel it but it was so icy over there too, and we don't want people to come out. Not everyone's good with driving in that weather. I am because I grew up in it, so.
Yeah, the weather. Here you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony's in San Diego.
Oh, okay. Yep. So yeah, but it was, we're gonna try and reschedule that. I think on Zoom because I don't want to have to wait. There were a lot of people that really wanted the information, and we're bummed that it got canceled. So I'm gonna talk to Deb at the program to reschedule it.
Nice.
Yeah, and I can run the Zoom from here, so we won't run into all the problems that we do running it from there.
Oh, you guys were running the Zoom out of that place?
Yes.
Oh.
And even if I tried to run it off of a cell phone, connection, because running it off of that shared Wi-Fi is like, there's no way it's going to run. It's just doesn't have enough.
There's terrible signal in that building. It has like 3 foot stone walls.
Yes. So that was the other problem. Was I said to Carlotta, well, I'll try running it off of your phone, your phone Wi-Fi, but because of that building, I just said nope, not going to work that way either.
Nice. Yeah. So Anthony has been my partner in crime for a long time, and he is also getting into real estate investing.
Nice.
He's able to get in working with his family. They actually own 8 doors, I think. Right, Anthony?
So right now we officially own 2, 4, 6, 8 doors, and we're literally breaking ground today on another 4 doors on one of those properties, and then later this year another 2 doors.
Nice.
My parents they had the first group of rentals, and like they were using grandpa's money to kind of move through them, and then like my mom just kind of like took over. I don't know what she's got. It can't be all this nonsense I see on TikTok saying that she doesn't want anybody to be better than her. It can't be that. But so like I moved back because me and Greg started a solar company. I moved back to San Diego, and like we get a couple clients that are all real estate. Like we became their solar people, and we were doing events with them, and they taught us so much in the time that we were hanging out there. We kind of looked at each other and were like, why aren't we doing this? And Greg's not doing this. It's very, very interesting. But I took that info to these people and was like, yo, we have a gold mine here, and you guys are keeping it small for no reason other than you're afraid. And so now here we are. We increased their portfolio. Yeah, most of them are paid off. We increased their portfolio this last year by $1 million easy.
Nice.
Now this is San Diego money. So
yeah, so Syracuse, like one property. One more property.
Yeah. The number's different there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's a cat. So this is the rescue that we took in as a kitten. He has discovered this window because birds out front.
Oh yeah, he's about to go feral.
He's gonna sing.
Does he not have a tail?
He does not have a tail. He's a natural bobtail. And we have a couple of ferals that we feed, which is how we ended up with him, because his mom had a litter under one of our neighbors' groups, under one of her porches. And she she knew we were feeding the cats, so she's like, "Did she bring the babies yet?" And I was like, "Okay, first of all, we thought they were all male, and second of all, what babies?" And then, like a week later, she started bringing the babies over. He was the only one that had survived because feral cats outside. That's very hard with the babies. And then we took them in to do TNR, and then figured we'd socialize how if we could. So the mom and what we thought was the dad, it was like a little soap opera, they did not want us. They did not want to be touched. They did not want to be nothing. Nope.
Cats.
Just feed me, get me out of here. Why
Feed
am I
me and be gone, human.
Yes. And if you touch me, you will lose your hand. She did escape in our basement at one point. And then Mark accidentally caught her as she shot up the concrete wall. And then she bit the crap out of his hand. So that was an urgent care visit. But it was an instinct that he even caught her. But yeah, it was crazy. The kitten at that time was 5 months old, and that's usually the age that they either will socialize or not. But he discovered wet food was the best thing in his little world, and that was how we socialized him. So I was able to work with him. The other ones we still take care of. So Mark has a solar-powered cat shelter built outside, and so there's heat in the winter and at least lack of cold and good area for them to go into. So the other two still come. We get some others occasionally, and there's actually a network of people that feed them and work with them in this area, so that's good. But yeah, so he's a bobtail, mom's a bobtail, and then there's one cat that's out there. We haven't seen him now in a couple weeks, and he was older, so I don't know if he's still with us. But he was a complete Manx, no tail at all.
Yeah, we had one of those in San Diego when my wife was pregnant with our first baby. Little kitten started showing up.
Yep.
He's still in San Diego somewhere.
Yep.
We moved a block, and it completely traumatized him.
Oh yeah.
He can still get back to his territory from our other house. That's how close we were.
They say you have to keep them if you're gonna keep them indoors, and you move at all. You have to keep them indoors for I think it's 3 or 4 months before that homing thing stops.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely an outdoors cat always.
Yeah.
We were just he would wake me up at 5-6 a.m. every morning to go out.
Sure. Yeah.
And the place we moved to actually had a cat door on it. Even
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the reasons we're like, oh, cool. And even still, even after he learned how to use the cat door, he'd come wake me up to go outside.
Oh yeah, of course.
He got
Slave master, take me out.
That cat got thrown out the back door a few times.
Cats.
Yeah.
Cats.
He'd be in my face and be like, I'm gonna kill you. We have a baby waking us up all night.
And now you're doing it.
Yeah. We tried to give him to somebody when we left.
Yeah.
He would not go back in the carrier. He's like, nope, not doing this. I was like, all right, well, you're on your own.
Yeah. Now it's funny.
Die in New York because it's going to be cold and there's predators you don't know. And
right. Yeah. Floof does not like the carrier. We actually have to sedate him to get him into the carrier.
Yeah, our cat never went to the vet once. We're like, we're not even. No, this is not happening.
Yeah, and once he's at the vet, he's really more afraid than anything else. So he's not going to do anything except then he wants to stay in the carrier. But yeah, he's usually pretty easygoing. He's learned from our other two cats that people are fun and give you treats. So he doesn't hide immediately anymore, and he actually will let people pet him as long as they're calm,
Yeah, very food motivated.
So my aunt, I'm a dog person. I have 2 dogs, a purebred Chow Chow, and a Shepherd Dalmatian mix. But
that's
my aunt has, he's pure energy. But my aunt has a bunch of cats, and she had one return to her house recently after years of being gone. And
wow,
they thought the cat was dead, and apparently it had been living at this other person's house, but that person died 6-7 months ago.
Wow.
And so when the cat came back with a full belly,
Wow.
So, there's a haunted cat living at my aunt's house. But in my opinion, all cats are haunted. It's part of the gig. So
They all have their own personalities, that's for sure. We have these three.
They disappear for hours on end for their shifts down in the underworld. And you can't convince me otherwise, especially if it's an orange cat. Guaranteed works in hell or some level.
We have one orange cat.
Yeah.
They're
And
dumb as shit.
No, they're like pit bulls. They're like, yeah, I don't care about the consequences. I'm doing it.
She just, she's just different. I don't know how to. She's not overly aggressive, but
that's how a loving mom would say it. They're just different. That's how a loving mom.
Well, I got feral at the Humane Society when we were adopting her because I had a orange cat as a kid. And then we saw her and we had looked at all the other cats that were there that day. And we're looking, I never went to the Humane Society or anything looking for a kitten, but because our other one was so high energy, even though she was 2, we needed a cat that could match that.
Right.
So we found her. She had been hiding under her, she was in the crate by the doors as she came in, and she had been under her blanket. And then she came out as we were, coming back out to the lobby. And I was like, and she was climbing her crate. Climbing her cage, and I was like, "Oh, look, there's an orange one. Let me see her." And I just immediately fell in love with her, not realizing that all the sounds and vocalizations that she were making were like, "Put me down. Why you have me in your arms?"
Death threats. Yeah.
Yeah, and she still does all those vocalizations today. Like if she's keyed up, or if you pick her up and she doesn't want to be held, like she has, and it's very funny because she has a very wide variety of them.
Cats are the only furry species with reptilian eyes. There's something about them. There's something's going on with the cats.
I've had cats my whole life. We did have dogs also, so I appreciate both. We just don't
I had a cat for a while.
Yeah, but Anthony, also only house cats. Big cats have circular eyes. Only house cats have the slit eyes.
What's going on with the house cats is my question.
Well, there had to be some kind of a penalty for us to pay for taking them inside.
Yeah, they're dragons in disguise, I'm telling you.
They're nature's perfect predators.
Yes.
They're crazy.
Greg, so I paid the first $1,000 out of the $1,500 to my new editor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Dana, Anthony has been writing a book series for the last 10 years.
Yeah, so I didn't watch last week's chat yet, but I watched all the other ones, I think.
Okay.
So I wanted to kind of see what the format was and what kind of stuff. But yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. Full send. I guess we're delaying the launch of everything to a point again, but we're gonna keep going with social media and just keep trying to build it up and maybe get a wait list going. And they're gonna give me a full line edit, right? Which is gonna make sure no spelling and no commas, and she's gonna read, and if she finds any weird spots, she'll just be like, "Hey, take a look at this." But then my actual is he's gonna read it after she's done, and just make sure it's good enough, right? And Greg, they tried to tell me they wanted to return it in April, and I was like, unacceptable. Unacceptable. And so now it's gonna get here in a week and a half. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about, mister. That's what we need. And
so we might still be able to hit a March premiere.
It'll probably be an April premiere. But
April 1st.
We have
we're losing you, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm driving around.
Yeah.
Good old San Diego
Am I
cell
back?
phone signal.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I'm driving into the ghetto. I don't want to put the like crazy energy on it. You know, I don't want it to be like, we got to get it done by March. And oh gosh, the editing lady took 2-3 extra days. And now he's going to, this really important book dude that's super rich, like is going to take time from his schedule to read it. That's, I don't want to put crazy energy on it. But I feel like with the amount of content we can make, especially if we're going to clip up the art and the audiobook scenes and do that, that's going to give us plenty of hype and plenty to talk about. I'm already seeing a little bit better results on my Instagram now that I'm not attached to the old account. Not anything crazy, but I just like the numbers are consistent. It's like 130, 140, 180, right? So content until the book is ready.
Oh yeah. Nice. So, and Dana, you do web development. Do you do anything outside of that as well?
Yep. So I actually have been doing web design a lot, like a really long time. I started that when I was still living down in Binghamton, kind of just as a side gig. It was very funny how I got into it because I was working for a dentist office and I was their practice coordinator, and they wanted to have a website, but they didn't really need, like, they weren't going to do scheduling online, and they weren't going to do a lot like the emails and stuff like that. They just basically wanted like not a placeholder page, but a little bit more than that, because it was the third generation of dentists in the family, so that practice was very well established, and we actually had like 3 generations of patients that came too. Some of the families have been there long term, so fairly big Italian family in a smaller town, very well connected, who had really, put their heart and soul into this practice. So they would go to shows, trade shows, and then of course the people who were building those websites for the trade shows were like, oh, you can have this and this and this, and it's going to be thousands of dollars. So I did a little research when they came back, and I said, hey, look, the community college has some online web design courses. If you pay for me to take those courses, we can build a website here in the office. That's how I started. So basic HTML, basic coding. I think I did like a 4-page website, and boom, we're off. Once I had those skills under, then I could broaden them myself. And I started doing more kind of niche websites, like for artists. My mom's an artist, so I was like looking at all those business owners or people who would want just a small, almost like when the phone book ads came out and people could just do like a 1-page ad. So I was like, we can do like a very limited website space for you. And it was great for the artists that I worked with because they didn't have anybody who was marketing to them at that time. And art is so kind of, it's back and forth, because either someone sees you and everyone wants your stuff, and it goes viral fast, or you just like try and get it out there, or you're not seen, or it's hard. The galleries are very, very political. And my mom, having been in the art community for so long, she was kind of known because of that. And it didn't matter to her so much. Like, I built her a website for her birthday one year and she liked it. But what she liked the most about it was that then she could apply for a show and tell them to go look at her paintings on the website, and she didn't have to traipse out places as much. So she liked that because it was just very simple. So I did some other small businesses like dentist office, other offices. What else did I do at the beginning? Just a couple small, but that was what I did. So I found that was more my market, was to, get it to the people who needed the website, who other people, weren't advertising towards. Now here I have like my husband's website. I've done his for him because he is an artisan. And I have a couple people who are psychics locally that I've done websites for. So somehow that was when I was in the General Mineral Society. So I met Carlotta because she was the president at that time. but also they were pairing up with the metaphysical circuit and they were doing the shows together. So the Gem Society would have their big show, and then the next room over would be the metaphysical, and we would cross advertise them. So then somebody was like, hey, you know, this psychic over here, I've known her for a long time. Would you help her with her website problem? Well, her problem was they had done her website and then they moved it into, I want to say it was Joomla. Looking to see if I have the book up there, because I actually like had to grab a book to deal with it. They moved it into Joomla, and then they wanted to just like triple what she was paying, and she was older and on a fixed income. So she's like, I can't. And it was way more than she would ever use, ever, you know. So Judy referred me to her, and then I met with her and I pulled all of her files down from the Joomla website because everything was built, and I just recreated it, you know, and made what she needed. And she was so grateful that somebody could do that, you know. And I stayed with her. I mean, it was probably 6 or 7 years, and she passed away recently. So yeah, so it's interesting because I started the website just as a add-on to something I was doing at my job, and then really liked it, you know. So then I kept doing them, and you know, I did a winery one where we got married and this and that. And then I kind of, when 2020 came, because I was still a secretary in the dental field.
Sorry to cut you off, but I gotta go. Sorry to cut you off, but I gotta go, guys. Nice to meet you. I'll see you next week.
Nice to meet you too.
Good luck with your golden shovel.
Yeah,
Back around, brother.
Yeah.
Nice. So then where was I? Oh, so the pandemic came, and I did the work from home thing because obviously if you have a business, you can't collect unemployment or anything. But when I came back to work after being off, I was just like, you know what? I really don't want to do this anymore for somebody else. Like, I want to do it for myself, put all this work into it. And I'm sure that there were other things happening, like life changes and stuff, you know. So I went back in July. I stayed till November, and with my husband's blessing, I said, I'm going to leave. Thanks for everything. And it's been great, but I don't want to be here anymore. I still help them out sometimes. Is that the vet's office? Okay. I have to get on this call because we have a kitty at the emergency vet. So let me just mute for a minute.
Okay.
And then I'm going to come back. Okay. Sorry about that.
You're all good. See you in a minute.
Okay. Thank you.
Is your cat all right?
No, she's older, and they gave us what sounds like not great news. So we just have to digest that a little. I told my husband we'll talk about that once I finish the call. So anyway, so I left in 2020 of my job. I left my regular job and then started the freelancing at that point. And when you freelance as an admin, you kind of just have to be able to pivot a lot. You know, I think admin is all about pivoting anyway, because you kind of have to match with who you're working for and kind of learn like what their needs are and this and that, you know, how you can best work with them and serve them. And I've been an admin for over 20 years, so I'm pretty good at that and reading people and then, you know, organizing chaos. It's kind of a good skill to have. So I really, I like to do those things, but what I have a hard time balancing is not to have that balancing chaos be my whole thing, because that's a lot of stress. So as a freelance admin, I try and take on just project type things, you know, like we'll do this now and then it has a timeline and it's done, you know. So I did a lot of Zoom calls, and I do a lot of computer teaching online for people too. That seems to have been something that just came up that people need. So it could be somebody who wants to make a business page on Facebook and they hire me, you know, and I dial into their computer, or we do a Zoom so they can screen share and I can guide them through it,
Nice.
you know, in a teaching way for them, which is, you know, I call it easier money for me because I'm not leaving my house, which is kind of nice, but they really appreciate that because it's one-on-one teaching. And a lot of people have never been able to have that, and they really benefit from it when they're learning something brand new.
Right. So you basically have two businesses then?
Yes.
You do admin consulting and web development.
Right. And then I do Mary Kay on top of that. So,
Ah,
yeah. So it kind of rotates because not everything is busy the same way at the same time. So it's been nice to have that balance too. And then of course with Mark's business, I help at shows, selling and running the register, so to speak, and things like that. So
what is Mark's business?
so Mark is an artisan. His is Aries Designs. He has a website, ariesdesigns.net, and he makes jewelry, stained glass. He has a laser that he makes things with. He has a ton of things that he does, a ton of inventory that we bring to shows. But basically, he's trying to build his, I shouldn't say build his custom design business because he does a fair amount of custom work for people too. But he can make his own jewelry. He can do his own cabs. He has all that machinery downstairs. The laser is the most recent addition to the tools that he has, but he's very talented. He's learned to do faceting now too. So he's done some beautiful pieces where he faceted like a simple piece of yellow quartz and then built a setting for it, and then sold it. So
What is faceting?
faceting is when you take a raw stone and you polish it and you put all those like designs, like when you go to see a diamond ring and they have the different settings, and it could be like a marquise setting, or though that's faceting. All those different settings are faceting. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and you can do it with a lot of different types of stones. People always think about it with gemstones, especially diamonds, but cubic zirconia. But he's done rose quartz, he's done yellow quartz, he's done amethyst. Trying to think of what else he has down there right now. He'll buy all the rough stuff. So we go to Tucson every couple of years and then go to that big show and bring a lot of stuff back.
That's fun.
Yeah, so that was how I met Carlotta in the Gem Society, is because Mark had been part of that forever, and then we started going, and I didn't know anything about that, about what rough stuff looked like versus polished and all that. So it was very interesting.
Nice.
So we always go to the Gem show and support them too.
I didn't know Carlotta was into gems.
Well, she was part of the beading group too, but she does make jewelry. So yeah, at that time there was a pretty strong beading group that was a subset in the Gems and Mineral, and I just saw something the other day that I think that's growing again, which is good.
That is good.
Yeah.
I think there's really a resurgence in creative arts right now.
Yeah, I think that came along with the pandemic.
Renaissance.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that, and going to work for somebody else just isn't paying like what it needs to in order to be worth it. So a lot of people are just saying, screw it. Like, if I'm not going to be able to make enough money going to a real job, I might as well not make enough money doing something that I like doing.
Yes. Yeah. I think for me, and I tell people this, this is my second stint, so to speak, as a Mary Kay consultant. One of the biggest things that I got from Mary Kay, they always say, like, tell people something that came out of your showcase that you didn't think was there. One of the things for me was how to market myself and how to ask for things at each job review or when I walked into a new job, how to get what I wanted. And that's a skill that people don't necessarily learn at an early age. But when you do sales for a company like Mary Kay, they train you on stuff like that. Like, you learn your own worth. And I learned how to parlay these skills across the board to different things.
I mean, they're just not skills that you learn in school.
No, they're not.
Unless you're going to debate club.
Yep.
Which only a handful of people do.
Right.
Nobody is learning sales skills, interpersonal skills, any of that in high school. Most people are just learning how to duck their heads and hide until they get home for the day.
Right. Yeah. And it was also kind of like having being part of a finishing school. Down south they have the debut balls and stuff like that. Well, in Mary Kay, you're told exactly what to wear and why, and and taught the psychology of that. And it's funny because people say, oh, well, I don't want to have to wear a suit, or I don't want to have to wear a dress. But I'm like, I can tell you from being in the different places I've worked, there's a big difference in how people perceive me and perceive the power I bring when I'm dressed up that way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and I don't hesitate to bring that to the table either. Like if we have to go into a meeting that I need to feel the shift of power my way, I'm going to be dressed to the nines. You know, whatever is the highest level of dress appropriate for that meeting, I'm there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I completely understand. It's and then something on my doorstep too I always had to deal with is people would be intimidated by me
Oh yeah.
because of my size.
Yes. Yes.
And so before I even said anything, so I would have to play myself down a little bit in a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it depends on who I'm going to go sit with.
Right.
But like if I was doing, like I did a lot of door to door sales types of stuff, and they'd be like, all right, well, you can't just knock on the door and stand there. Like people are just going to open the door and see a 6'4"
Right.
monster of a human and be like, ah, and get very defensive. It's
Yes.
like, so you got to take a couple steps back, turn sideways, make your profile smaller.
Yep.
All sorts of things. So it's funny how you have to play these roles depending on where you go and who you're talking with and what you're trying to accomplish.
Yes. And I'll tell a funny story related to that. So I have always been tall, and I was my 6th grade, I was taller than my teachers, and I was my first male teacher was in 6th grade. And when I changed jobs and moved up here to Syracuse, I went to work for another dental group, and it was a dentist that had been college buddies with the dentist I had been working for. So I had kind of known him from coming up to visit the practice and stuff, but not known him very, very much, you know. But he, I think, was like 5'1" maybe, and I'm 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
So I am very much a direct to the source person. If there's a problem at work, like I'm not going to mollycoddle with all these other people and talk about it with them, other than just to get information. And I'm just going to go right to the boss. And of course, having come from a job where I was practice coordinator, that was like what you did. It was directly to the boss. But when I went in to talk to him, I had to remember my height, you know, because now I'm fired up and I'm 6'1". And he's seated, you know, so I always had to remember to go in and sit down first, you know, when I was in there.
That's funny.
Because otherwise it would really be seen as you're trying to take over here, which I wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe you should have.
Oh, I definitely should have. And it's funny because we have a relative of mine that still goes to that practice, and he's just like, yeah, you need to go back and work there again because they need you. And I'm like, nope. We're done with that. So yeah,
that's funny. I mean, it's something I've had to, it's a weird thing to have to come to terms with, but I had to learn how to let myself be perceived as big and strong and intimidating, and learn that it's not my fault if people are intimidated.
correct.
But I shouldn't be proverbially chopping myself off at the knees in these
Right.
business situations because
Yeah.
I'm worried about what people are going to think about me. And
Yeah.
I had this revelation a few years ago where it's like, screw everybody. I'm going to own my power. It's like, I'm big, I'm tall, you know, speak well. I know my stuff. I dress well. And it's like, I don't care if I intimidate people anymore. And it was funny, the change in the type of people that surrounds me now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't have the snakes and the leeches and the people that are trying to be like, oh, I can take advantage of this guy. And now, you know, the people that actually are beneficial in business arrangements are having whole conversations with me.
Yes.
And like there was a point where I had a whole company of people that were just, you know, I don't want to say leeching off of me, but taking advantage of what I was able to offer. Instead of trying to help grow, they were actually taking from what I was putting into everything. And that was kind of one of my 2020 things, is all the people that were taking from me. When I ran out of things to give, they all disappeared.
They were gone. Yeah, poof. Yes.
Yeah. And Anthony is one of the few people that has remained by my side because he's a big dumb animal like I am.
You formed a pack.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. All my best friends are also all 6'4" to 6'6".
Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny. It's funny how that works. Yeah.
Tall people play together.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of the things I liked about joining into your discussions and everything on Wednesdays is your point was doing like how I was raised, so to speak, in my businesses. So I started as a Mary Kay consultant and learned all the positive things about working with people and why you do it this way, and the bad sales tactics that Mary Kay Ash had to endure before she did her own business, and that's the reason she opened it, and how incredibly brilliant she was with some of the decisions that she made, but also so smart to teach us those skills and to teach us like to have the abundance mentality, because the people coming onto this call are going to share a lot of things, and none of us are coming onto it thinking, oh my God, I can't share this because then they're going to take it and run with it. And I'm not going to get a benefit from it. No, the benefit is the sharing. The benefit is being part of that group and knowing that you can get ideas and vocalize. And even if your businesses are completely different, everybody benefits.
Yeah, and I'm making zero attempts to monetize off of this group.
Sure.
This isn't where I make my money. It's definitely a way for me to build my community, and there's money that comes from it. Like I'll share with you, for example, I don't know if you remember Marvin and Joseph with Property Pros. They came to the
Was that the father son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they started the company.
Yeah.
So just because I talked about marketing and now I've had some meetings with them.
Yeah.
So they're making me an owner of the company.
Nice.
So that I can help them grow, because they just don't know everything that I know.
Right.
But they're doing great. They have a good setup. They have a good personality. They're interested in being involved in the community, giving back. And so it's like, yeah, absolutely. So it's like, that's where I find my monetization. And I can't work with 5, 10, 15 people like that at the same time. It's like I find 1 or 2 businesses at a time and I go deep. Like I own equity in 4 companies.
Nice.
But some of them is a little bit of work here and there. And like Anthony with his book, I've been helping him since 2020 and listening to him for an hour a day talk about it. Like I've put in thousands of hours of phone calls with him.
Exactly.
Like, and so like that's more time consuming, but it's also going to be fun. We've got a board game. We've got a video game coming out that's being made. Book series. Is recording the audio. We're going to turn it into a graphic audio book.
Nice.
Eventually, hopefully an anime that we can sell to a Netflix or something.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but just trying to get people into a Zoom call to parse out some pennies here and there, like that doesn't do a lot for me.
Yeah.
It's like
the networking is definitely where it's at, because this is the introduction to get people together, but then the networking is where everyone shines, because everyone's going to be looking for different things. And I'm going to meet people coming onto this call through you that I would never necessarily meet on my own. You just never know when that click is going to happen. I meet people going to the investors group that I wouldn't meet otherwise either, even though I've known Carlotta for a long time. And I have talked with other people there, like, because I always say that you can call me if you need admin help. I haven't clicked with a lot of other people, but that's okay. That, to me, that's just the normal, make 10 contacts, maybe get 3 appointments, and maybe get 1 client out of it. Those are normal numbers. I don't have a problem with that,
Yeah, me either. And like the whole point of this is just to have a place for entrepreneurs to talk.
Yeah.
For us to help each other out.
Yeah.
And it's young and it's growing, but as much as anything, it's just for me. Like it sparks a fire in my heart.
Yes.
Like, this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
Just figure out problems for people, with people.
Yep.
And I think that, it's like, this is my Renaissance hour. This is the most important hour of my week to me.
Nice.
And it's the only time of the week that I'm not trying to do something that's going to bring in money,
Right.
which is funny.
Yeah. But you
And
have to have those times too. You have to, and it makes your brain work differently when you're in a more creative mode.
yeah,
Which this would be, because discussing all the things that get discussed, um, and like I said, it's always good for our heart and soul to help people, and
I
that's a
agree.
lot of what this is too.
And it's like, I love production. Like, I don't know if you know, I used to be a photographer and videographer.
Yeah, you had talked about
And
that. Yeah.
I did during quarantine 2020. I'm trying to remember how many I did. I did like 170 productions that year.
Wow. Nice.
And so just being able to set up my studio and work on my lighting and my sound and
Yep.
all of that, like it's my artistic release.
Yeah.
And even though I'm not, doing a full movie or a
Mhm.
show or a podcast even,
Yep.
it still scratches that itch a little bit just
Yeah.
to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like today I'm messing with, and I turned off one of my lights and shuttered a window, and it's like, all right, let's see if this helps me get my vibe and going for a little bit more.
Hmm.
I got the light bar. Just
Yep.
light bar is fun. It's like $20. Got a little remote here.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
Like, do all the colors.
Yes.
It's got, it'll do patterns. Like,
Oh, that's fun.
yeah.
I looked at some of those because I was like, that would be very fun to have. I'm very much a color like environment person too. I always have been. So I'm sure that's the part of me that was nurtured by having my mom be an artist. Because when we were kids, like we would read a lot. I remember going to the library was a huge fun thing to do and get your own books and everything. But also she said to us, you have to have things to do. So she always knitted and crocheted in addition to painting. I learned how to crochet and macrame when I was a kid. I also learned how to cook from scratch when I was a kid because I loved being in the kitchen, and I still do that. My husband also cooks from scratch, which is great because then when I developed allergies, food allergies as an adult, I didn't have to say, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm like, oh, okay, so I can just cook this and this and this, and let's pull this other cookbook out because Middle Eastern food now is the bomb for me, because there's a lot more I can eat in it. Things like that.
Yeah.
So I was able to do that. And I tell people that was one of the best things, was knowing how to cook and knowing inherently what ingredients are in the dish. So when I go out to eat, I can talk with the servers appropriately,
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to have those fun things. Yeah, definitely.
I agree, man. I have in the last couple of years added turmeric and curry to like almost all of my recipes in differing
Nice.
amounts, but
Yeah.
they bring such a great flavor to everything.
Yep.
Because I'm always cooking. I contemplated for a long time going to culinary school, but
Yep.
realized that I love it so much that I just want to do it for me.
Yes. It's a whole different thing when you do it as a profession.
Yeah, but my absolute favorite thing in the world to do is to cook for somebody and
Yes.
have them enjoy my food.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
my retirement plan is, because I'll never be able to just sit around.
No.
It's to open up just a little sub shop and
Nice.
like just make sandwiches for like 4 hours a day.
Yep.
And just feed people. I
Yes.
love feeding people.
Yeah. It's another way to have community for sure.
Mhm.
People. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I grew up in a house that I can remember my mom would be like, we always came out on the weekends, at least one day, for like a family dinner. But if we brought friends with us, it was not a big deal. Sometimes we would just call out and say, hey, my friend Wendy's coming with me. She'd be like, great, can you just grab another pound of ground beef on your way out? And I'll make more meatballs or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was never an issue. She wanted to have us there. She was happy to have friends there. My mom and dad were both outgoing social people, and they are to some extent now, but because of their limitations, they're not as much. But they certainly know all their neighbors. I can tell you that.
That's funny. That's so I'm probably hopefully like 2 weeks away from getting my real estate license.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I've just recently finished the course and now I'm just studying.
Yeah, great. Congratulations.
And then thank you. And then in April, probably the end of April, so I'm planning a community event because there's marketing and then there's good marketing.
Yes.
It's like, how do I take over my neighborhood? It's like I can either just flyer everybody and go knock on doors, introduce and be like, hi, I can be your realtor. I live next to you.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is a community garage sale
Nice.
for all the, basically, so I live on Allen Road in Taft. So
I'm trying to think of where Alan is.
do you know where Hafner's is?
Yes.
So that T intersection, that's Allen Road.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so there's about 500 houses ish. I like loosely counted it real quick one night on Google Maps. So, and I'm partnering with, so I'm going to be at Move Real Estate. So I'll be under that banner, and then with Property Pros as well.
Nice.
We're just going to go around and sign up all the houses to do a garage sale on one particular day.
Yeah.
And I've also been talking with Allen Road Elementary about having people donate a portion of what they sell to the school, which makes it a newsworthy event.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got to take this garage sale day and go to the news stations, to the radio, to the papers, and be like, hey, help me promote this because it's a fundraiser for the school.
Right.
And so hopefully we can get 100 houses that'll sign up and do it that day, but we promote it enough. I mean, Syracuse, there's not a whole lot going on at any given time. So
there's either a lot all on one weekend or nothing. Like that's what I've seen. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything's on this weekend. Why? Yeah.
I believe that. So, hopefully we can bring people from around town to come because they can just go garage sale hopping, like make a day of it.
Right.
And the whole purpose is to get the whole community, the neighborhood, to do something together. I'll make a little map on probably the Property Pros website because I control that website. Like I've already built them a new one and all that.
Yeah.
Versus the Move Real Estate one, like I'm not in control of that, so it's hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I'm thinking like, what else can we do for the neighborhood throughout the year? I'm thinking like 4th of July, being like, hey, everybody just bring your grills to your driveway.
Right.
And we'll everybody brings out their grill at 4 p.m. and starts grilling together. Like, let's have a giant block party. Yeah. And then like Halloween, let's get all the houses listed that are actually doing trick or treating.
Now you know that Nextdoor has an app for that, right? Like a little sub thing. Have you been on Nextdoor yet for your area?
I have here and there. I've honestly never liked Nextdoor. I feel like
it's not great for a lot of things, but it is great for the community yard sale and also the Halloween thing, because they have a Halloween map and you just put that you're going to be on it, and then you could put like a little note in there about like what you're offering. Because I always do, Mark and I always do regular candy, but we also have a treat basket that's kept separately, so kids who have allergies have an option that's not going to poison them when they get home, and you'd be surprised how many kids would rather take, we say treat or prize, would rather take something from the prize bin, and then we're left with a lot of candy. So we always registered on there because it started out as the Teal Pumpkin Project, which is a nationwide thing, and you can print off teal pumpkins like flyers and put them on your window or whatever, as a signal for families. But then when I saw that Nextdoor had the thing that you could register your house, I'm like, great, I can put it on there, and I can put that we're part of the Teal Pumpkin Project, and I can put something on there about what that means. And I see other houses doing it too. And
I'll
it's
have to look
free.
into that more.
Yeah, it's free. So I figure Nextdoor and I have gone back and forth because they don't want to allow me to list my Mary Kay business on there. So in that aspect, I'm not cool with them.
Yeah,
but there are other things I use it for.
I've tended to find, and I haven't tried Nextdoor in Syracuse. It might be a different type of people here, but I use a lot in San Diego, and it was a lot of the people that just like yelling and complaining.
There's a fair amount of that, I'm not going to lie. But there are people that try and shut them down too, which is nice. So, I see that a lot. Like, you don't have to come here and be like that, So, yeah. The other thing I use it for is the networking of the people working with the feral cats and stuff. I network a lot with people on there. So, But yeah, I was pretty irritated with them. My page was doing really well. They had even given me like I can't remember what it's called, but they have like a little award, and they had even given me that. And then like 3 months later, they like terminated my page saying I was in violation. I'm like, and I had the page up for like 4 years. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Like, okay, yeah, very arbitrary that way.
that is arbitrary. All right. Well, we hit 11 o'clock. I was trying to
Yes.
keep this sharp to an hour.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us this week, Dana. I definitely learned a lot about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think next week or week after, next time you're able to join, let's try and dive into some marketing stuff.
Sure. Absolutely. I'm going to see if I can get my husband to sit in on one of these calls too.
Yeah.
I think he was very smart when he went into his retirement, into getting ready to just do his business stuff. So I think he would have some hopefully interesting things for people to learn too.
I would love that.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, thanks so much for hosting. This was fun.
Of course. I'll see you next week, I hope.
Yes. All right. Thanks.
All right.
Bye
Bye.
now.